how to deposit funds into Interactive Brokers. All the methods explained in this video. I've already made several videos about this, and now I want to make a definitive one to explain the different deposit methods and which one might be best for you. So let's just go to Interactive Brokers, to their website, and go straight to the option that says Transfer and Pay, and then here where it says Transfer Funds. Once you click there, this page will load. Here you click where it says Deposit Funds, then click Select, and it will load for you. These options show up for me because they are accounts I've already set up before, but in this case, I'm not going to use them. I'm just going to click down here where it says Use a new deposit method, and that's how it will appear for you. One important thing before continuing is to remember that at the top, you'll see all the currencies currently available to deposit in Interactive Brokers. Because remember that Interactive Brokers has a multi-currency platform where you can invest in different currencies. There's just one thing to keep in mind. If, for example, you're going to invest in a stock or an ETF that's in dollars, but you invest using euros, for instance, then a currency conversion will be made and you'll be charged an extra fee. That's why it's always better to deposit in the currency you plan to invest in. So here you just choose, and depending on what you select, the available deposit options will appear here. In this case, we're going to do it with US dollars, and here we'll see the options that show up. First of all, there's this bank transfer option here, although it's almost always better to use an ACH transfer. It's faster, better, and generally doesn't have any fees. Now, for this first option here, what you'll need to have is a bank account. Let's click where it says Get Instructions. You can do this from anywhere in the world, from any bank you have. It doesn't matter, you'll always be able to make the deposit. To do this, you just need to enter the name of the bank you'll be sending the money from, then the account number. This part is optional. And let's say, a username. This is just so you can remember it for future use, so you'll know exactly which account you used, and then the amount you want to deposit. We're going to enter any information here, and for example, let's say we're going to deposit $1,000, and then we click where it says Get Transfer Instructions. So here, a notification has been created for Interactive Brokers so they know that we're going to send this money, this amount here, to this account over here. The information you're given here is exclusive to your account, so remember not to provide any details that aren't yours. So with all this information, what you're going to do is go directly to your bank, and at your bank you make an international transfer and enter everything that appears here. Interactive Brokers, the account number, the routing number, and so on. And you send the exact amount of money you requested, which is $1,000. Remember, it has to be $1,000, not including the fees your bank charges you. In other words, if your bank charges you $5 to send the money, then you should send $1,005 so that $1,000 arrive at Interactive Brokers and you don't have any issues. This is the first way, and as I mentioned, you can deposit in dollars from anywhere in the world as long as your bank allows international transfers. Now, once again, let's go back here to Transfer and Pay, then to Transfer Funds, and we'll continue with the next method. Let's click here on Deposit Funds, and remember, look over here, this is the one we just created. For that, we needed the username, so there it is in case we want to send money again. We don't have to go through the whole process again. We just click on it, and now we only need to choose how much we're going to deposit. Alright, I'm going to click back here and then select Use a New Deposit. Now here we see the second method, which is actually really good, but it only works for people who have accounts in the United States. It says here, your account must be in the United States. So if you're currently in the United States and you have an account there, that's great. You'll be able to make the deposit in an awesome, fast, and excellent way. But if you're not there, there are plenty of alternatives that work from other countries. You just have to look up dollar account in X country, and you should find options. In this case, well, you create it and then click here where it says yes. Now, what you have to do here is really simple and easy. In fact, this is honestly the easiest way, the one I personally use. What you're going to do here is, where it says Direct Deposit Functionality, you click on Activate. I already have it activated, so that's why it shows me the option to deactivate. And all you have to do is, in the app of your US bank or whatever alternative you have for a US bank account, select Send Money or Transfer to a US bank account. And they'll ask you for these two numbers, the routing number and the account number that appear here. You just copy them, send them, and that's it. Here, you don't need to enter any reference number for your account or specify that this is for a particular Interactive Brokers account. These numbers here are completely personal to you. That means if you deposit to the number shown here, you're depositing into my account. So you need to log into your own account, copy your own number, and make the transfer to your account. Alright, once we've understood this, let's move on to the next method, which is linking a new account. Now, this is the same as the one shown here. You need to have a bank account in the United States. We're not going to go into this one much. We won't cover it in detail because it really depends on whether your bank is available or supported. For this, well, you just go in here, select yes, and you have to look for and enter your account type here. Then you need to enter the routing number for your savings or checking account. Once you do that, it will show up. So you have to look for your bank's name within the United States or Puerto Rico, and it should appear. If it doesn't show up, that means this feature isn't available, and you'll need to choose this option only if you have an account over there. All this does is, when you go to deposit, actually, I'll show you, I already have it set up with another account. Let's go to transfer and pay, then transfer funds. Let's say that once you've set this up and click on Connect Bank Account, all that will happen is you'll click here where it says Deposit Funds, choose the account, and for example, it will show up like this. It simply asks you to enter the deposit amount. Here you put in the amount of money you want to deposit, and what Interactive Brokers does is request the deposit from the bank authorizes it, and the money automatically appears in your Interactive Brokers account. But sometimes this doesn't work with some banks, even if it looks like it should. So I don't really like this way of depositing. I prefer the previous method because it's really simple and very easy to use. You just send it. And by the way, the waiting time is basically overnight with ACH. So if you deposit today, the money will be in your account by tomorrow. With this one, sometimes, depending on the bank's authorization, it can take up to 5 business days, even though here it says 4. So it's an option I don't really recommend. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cover these last 2 options together because they're really only for very specific cases. So, if you have the option to pay bills through your bank, you can enable it. Or if you have a check and want to send it, you just send it directly to Interactive Brokers and make the deposit that way. But these are general methods that I don't think many people actually use. But what we do have here is this option to transfer from your Wise balance. Now, what is Wise? This platform you see here is basically a service that helps you send money around the world. In other words, you can have money in the United States and send it to Spain or anywhere else in literally seconds. Now, the thing about this is that it has some really high conversion rates or fees. So what happens is that when you make a deposit, the commission is very high for the amount you want to deposit. That's why it's not the best option. Now, if you already have money in Wise, then the best way is to deposit it through here. Because if you transfer it to another bank and then deposit it, you'll end up paying commissions anyway. So this is only for those who have a Wise account and have an easy and simple way to deposit into Wise. You just click here to transfer. Once you click transfer, you have to set up your account. But in this case, I don't currently have any funds in my Wise account, but if I did, it would show me here how much I want to deposit and immediately tell me what the commission is. That's another downside. There's no fixed commission, meaning it doesn't tell you exactly how much they're going to charge you here. So it's kind of annoying because you can't know how much they're going to charge you ahead of time. You have to come here first, enter the amount of money you want to deposit, and then it'll show you what the commission will be. Only then can you go ahead and deposit. So that's something that's not so great. That's why I recommend the other alternatives. Try in every possible way to get a savings account in the United States where you can deposit and send money via ACH. Because basically, if you notice, it's the only one that's all green. And that's because it's the fastest, the cheapest, and the easiest to set up. I mean, it's super easy. But remember that for this option here, you should first check with your bank or financial institution to see if they offer ACH transfers. Because if they don't, you won't be able to make the payment. That said, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.